What is up, everyone? Ethan back today with an album review, and what I've got today is a really good one. This is a band, one of my favorite bands, my favorite album by this band. This is their third studio released March 2nd, 1973. Recorded in Hollywood, California on the Warner Brothers label, produced by Ted Templeman. This is The Captain and Me by the Doobie Brothers. A little bit of glare there. So yeah, I love that album artwork. The horse-drawn carriage with the kind of bridge thing, broken bridge looking thing. Love this inside gatefold of the band there, looking all cool with their top hats at the dinner table. Love that. Yeah, as I said, released 1973. This is the Doobie Brothers' third album. They are a band from California. They are in the genre of country rock, boogie rock, and hard rock. When it says country, I wouldn't think country like modern day country. To me, this is more folky when they say country. But yeah, recorded in 72 and 73, released March 2nd, 1973. This is a great album. I might even go out on a limb and say this is a near perfect album. To me, that's my opinion, it's subjective. Let's get into the band members. So you have Tom Johnston on lead and backing vocals, acoustic and electric guitars, synthesizer, harmonica. Patrick Simmons on lead and backing vocals, also electric and acoustic guitars. Tieran Porter on bass. John Hartman on drums and percussion. And Michael Hossack on drums, combas, and timbales. So yeah, this is a five-piece band. This is their third album. Their first two albums are great also, self-titled and Toulouse Street. I also own those. But this, without a doubt, to me, is their masterpiece. So let's get into the track listing, not get too long-winded. So before I get into the track listing, let me describe what this album is, or the genre, or what you're in for. So to me, this is the perfect summer beach album. You think of bands like, Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Allman Brothers and maybe the Eagles come to mind. Those kind of bands, maybe like, Bruce Springsteen, or I've never been a huge Springsteen fan, but, those kind of bands come to mind when you think of, summertime at the beach, kind of island music, kind of, yacht rock even. To me, this is the quintessential beach album. It just, like sea island tunes. I would put this up with something like, Ida Wild South by the Allman Brothers. It's just a perfect summertime beach album. Real breezy, flowy harmonies, beautiful vocal harmonies, great kind of understated guitar work, really great guitar work, but not a real guitar heavy album, I would say. The things that shine for me on this album is the songwriting, the guitar harmonies, the vocal melodies and harmonies. Maybe a little bit like the Eagles, but I prefer this over anything the Eagles ever did. I like the Eagles. They're not one of my favorite bands. To me, maybe they're a little overrated. This is more my cup of tea. The Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me. So it kicks off with Natural Thing, and that is a great kickoff song. I don't know how you would describe that other than a upbeat, positive, fast tempo, poppy rock song with great vocal harmonies. And then Long Train Running, which is kind of you know, their single for the album, might be a song you've heard before on the radio. Great radio song, not overplayed like a lot of, 70s rock. Long Train Running is just a fantastic, flowing, charging, driving song. This album, I mentioned summer and the beach, great listen for that. This is a great driving album. If you're just driving for hours and just want to, you know, kill some mileage and just listen to something great, put this on. I mean, the miles will just fly by with this going. This has kind of a cross country kind of vibe to it. Really something you could just listen to while driving and just zone out and really get into it. Long Train Running, makes me think of that, a great driving song. And then China Grove, what a great riff in that. And this, like I said, this is not a real riffy album, more about the guitar melodies and the vocal harmonies. Again, think the Eagles, think the Allman Brothers. If those two got married and had a baby, that's kind of this album in a way, although I prefer this, as I said. China Grove, just a great hard rock song, a little heavier maybe, great guitar work. Dark Eyed Cajun Woman, again, I think The Beach, I think South Island Tunes, I think, Yacht Rock, I think, like, what's that guy that everybody listens to at the beach? Jimmy Buffett, that kind of thing, kind of has that kind of vibe, little Caribbean maybe. Clear as the driven snow to kick off to Inside One. That is a great song. That is a folky, kind of more melancholy, moody song. Great way to end the album. That's a Patrick Simmons written song, and I really like him. He's kind of the second vocalist, kind of the the number two guy, but I really like his songs he writes, and when he sings them also, he sings the vocals here. It's a longer song. It's kind of proggy. It has some change ups in it, very folky, kind of dark and sinister. This album as a whole is very bright and cheerful, which I like, which is why I say beach, summertime, fun driving song. Just put this on at the beach and just, have a beer to it. Perfect album for that. But that song is a little more serious, a little more reflective. I like that. They have a little change up there. Without You, to kick off side two. Good song, but not my favorite on the album. South City Midnight Lady is a more kind of melancholy, bluesy song. Great song, though. Evil Woman, track number 8, great song. Again, written by Patrick Simmons and sung by Patrick Simmons, kind of to me, the underrated secret weapon in this band. Really great song. And then we have a song called Busted Down Around O'Connelly Corners. It's an instrumental, 48 seconds. Really nice, though. And then Ukiah. Again, think yacht rock, think Caribbean, think South Sea Island tunes. Kind of has that vibe. Palm trees, margaritas, pina coladas, that kind of vibe. Sitting at the beach. Even Jimmy Buffett, Pablo Cruz, that kind of thing. And then the title track ends the album, The Captain and Me. And that is a great song. Moody, reflective, great vocal harmonies sung by Tom Johnston. But again, the whole band, just fantastic musicians. They don't ever overplay. They play to the song. Just a great group of guys, and they're still touring to this day. They just released an album this past year, or this past summer and spring, I believe. Haven't listened to it, but I will probably get to it at some point. This is just one of those bands from the 70s that to this day continues to tour and record albums. And to me, this is their magnum opus. This is their greatest achievement, The Captain and Me. I would argue, and again, that's just my opinion, it's subjective, this is a near perfect album. Is it my favorite album of all time? Probably not. Top 10, probably, maybe. It's hard to, say what your favorite albums are or make a list, but this is almost perfect to me. This is like a 9.5 out of 10. Again, every song is just really good, really memorable, flows really well, just right. Every song just kind of bleeds into the next one. This is one of those albums you have to listen to the whole thing. Don't pick songs out and play them on Spotify. Listen to the whole album from start to finish. That's what I do. You don't have to do that. That's just, in my opinion, that's the best way to listen to this album. Yeah, what a fantastic album. And again, I got this for $8.95. I had it probably about 5 or 6 years now. Again, there's the back, the inside cover, a little bit of glare there. And it's in pretty good condition. I got this used. There's the vinyl in there. It's not scratched or anything. Yeah, just a fantastic album from a classic 70s rock band. To me, a little bit underrated. Needs to be in the conversation with albums and bands like Hotel California by the Eagles, to me. Yeah, fantastic. 9.5 out of 10 for the Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me, their third album. A near masterpiece, in my opinion. Thank you for watching.